Is dressing Melania Trump a different question now than it was 8 years ago? American first ladies don't get much of a voice, but their sartorial choices are broadcast to the world and scrutinized for subtext and statements. Melania Trump, for her part, channeled Jackie Kennedy to kick off her first turn in the White House, wearing Ralph Lauren, a heritage brand favorite on both sides of the political aisle, to the daytime events in 2017. She swapped her powder blue cashmere dress and matching asymmetrical bolero jacket with opera gloves for a silk crepe gown by Hervé Pierre that year, both looks that signaled a sense of buoyancy as she began her new role as a political wife. Before we dive in, if it's your first time here or you are returning, welcome and welcome back. Please like, share, subscribe, and hit the bell notification to know when we upload. Thanks a bunch, friends. Melania Trump stood next to her husband at the Capitol Rotunda in Washington, D.C. on Monday, wearing a custom navy coat, skirt, and blouse by New York designer Adam Lips. Unlike the powder blue cashmere Ralph Lauren ensemble she donned at the 2017 presidential inauguration, which prompted comparisons to Jacqueline Kennedy, this time the incoming First Lady opted for a much more somber look, her flat, wide-brim hat disguising most of her face. The look, in fact, was Melania Trump through and through, severe and demure. In opting for a look by a lesser-known designer, though one she's turned to in the past, most recently in NYC last summer, Trump could be gesturing at how she intends to employ fashion differently during her tenure at the White House this time around. The Adam Lips label is just over a decade old. While Lips, known for his sophisticated take on American sportswear, is a well-liked figure among the American fashion establishment, he is hardly a household name in the way Lauren is. Back in 2017, starting with her inauguration look, there was a feeling that Trump, together with her husband, had something to prove. Not simply that they could dress the part, not necessarily as much of an issue for Melania, a former model, but that they could project the image of a proper political all-American first family. The choice of Lauren signaled that Trump had access, like any first lady before her, to the best American fashion had to offer. That she could, too, assimilate into the role of first lady with ease. What Trump and her stylist Hervé Pierre, a former Carolina Herrera designer who made her 2021 inauguration ball gown, seemed to be getting at is that this time around, she intends to play the fashion game like other first ladies before her. She gets to wear the insider name and stake a claim that she too can stand behind a designer and offer her support in the way Michelle Obama did for Isabel Toledo at the 2009 inauguration, or how Dr. Jill Biden did in Markarian by Alexandra O'Neill back in 2021. The tradition of the presidential inauguration embodies the beauty of American democracy, and today we had the honor to dress our First Lady, Mrs. Melania Trump, said Lips in a statement that emphasized American manufacturing over political ideology. Mrs. Trump's outfit was created by some of America's finest craftsmen, and I take great pride in showing such work to the world. Meanwhile, her matching hat, designed by Eric Javits, carried a special significance for the designer, who told ABC News he was greatly honored and very moved by the entire experience. When I was creating the hat in my hands, it was a simple hat. It was understated, it was classic, Javits said. When I saw it on her head, it really transformed. The experience became very powerful, because everything worked together. And of course, you know that speaks to her grace and her presence, so it was very, very strong. The visual impact is very strong of seeing her, and of course, I just feel very grateful to have been enlisted to create that for her. Javits added the hat reflected Melania Trump's thoughtful expression of herself. It's a time of some restraint, and it's really sort of a turning point to more conservative values, I think, he said. And I think she was thinking of protocol and looking very elegant and very simple in a way. It still was a very powerful visual message. Her shadowy chic 2025 look marks a sharp departure as she enters tenure 2. For her second round as First Lady, the fashion game, the tool she brandishes most often and most forcefully, even if the public sometimes struggles to divine her sartorial messages, is likely to be one of steely, precise armor of clothes with brash and exacting tailoring, wrote the New York Post. For the past year, she has worn a wardrobe of mostly black, but this does not seem intended to make her disappear into the background. The now First Lady could also be leveraging the occasion, one of the biggest stages for American fashion, to shift her sartorial strategy into one more aligned with her predecessors. An alignment with fashion could also portend more media and cultural attention on Trump, allowing her to emerge as a personality on her own, like First Ladies past. Yet, the industry's history of not cooperating with the Trump administration could stand in the way of those ambitions, but that resistance is not a guarantee this time around. Melania looks armed for a historical and long day in a navy look ready for battle. Her military-inspired look allows her to blend into the background, but the distinctive boater hat sets her apart. A wool boater, rather than the traditional straw, is unexpected and screams fashion. Elegant, yet effortlessly carefree, says Washington, D.C. area fashion stylist and self-described style strategist Lauren A. Rothman. During inauguration weekend events, Melania Trump turned to her trademark understated elegance in some of her favorite European designer brands. On Saturday, the incoming First Lady wore a roomy gray, double-breasted Christian Dior coat over a white jacquard Dolce & Gabbana pantsuit and white flats during an inaugural reception at Trump National Golf Club in Sterling, Virginia. She donned a black cape coat by Dior and black Christian Louboutin boots on Sunday for a wreath-laying ceremony at Arlington National Cemetery with her husband. Sunday night, she went for a refined, floor-sweeping tuxedo cape from Saint Laurent paired with a Dolce & Gabbana tuxedo shirt, cummerbund, and a long black sequin skirt, notably by the American fashion label Carolina Herrera. Vice President J.D. Vance's wife, Usha, stood out on Monday in a pink coat with a sash-tie neckline. On Saturday evening, she looked glamorous in a long black velvet strapless Oscar de la Renta gown with asymmetric floral accents on the bodice when she and her husband hosted a black tie dinner for incoming cabinet members at the National Gallery of Art. On Sunday at Arlington Cemetery, her white double-breasted A-line coat popped in the crowd of people who mostly wore black for the event. The Second Lady hired South Bend, Indiana, designer Mary Grace Godfrey of the brand Anna Gracia to design jackets for the Vances' 3 children to wear to today's inauguration. Navy double-breasted jackets with gold buttons for brother Ewan and Vivek, and a burgundy cape with gold buttons for daughter Mirabelle. As a finishing touch, she hand-embroidered USA in red, white, and blue thread under the collars. First daughter Ivanka Trump turned up for the inauguration looking chic and impeccably pulled together in a forest green skirt suit, cinched with a thin black belt and a matching green hat. "It's a Jackie O moment," says Rothman. The first daughter looks flawless, seamlessly marrying her love of style and fashion with her political presence. Her background as a former fashion entrepreneur, with a brand once carried in major department stores, reflects her deep understanding of using clothing to signal both power and poise in the political sphere. Ivanka may have also taken a cue from Princess Catherine, who is known for her classic style and routinely chooses gemstone hues and expertly tailored ensembles for royal responsibilities. Later in the evening, Ivanka turned heads when she channeled Audrey Hepburn in a black and white Givenchy gown for the 2025 Liberty inaugural ball at the Waldorf Astoria. Hepburn's son, Sean Hepburn Farrer, wasn't surprised Ivanka sought out the ultimate elegance and class reference with a nod to his late mother. Melania Trump revealed her official White House portrait on Monday, and it shows a powerful image of a First Lady in control. She opted to pose in black and white, a stark contrast to her predecessors in the role, who used bright colors and the familiar settings of the White House to highlight their position as the president's spouse. Melania, in contrast, wears a black pantsuit with a crisp white shirt by Dolce & Gabbana, one of her favorite European designers. She stands tall, with her hands on a table before her, the Washington Monument visible in the background. Staring directly at the camera, she dominates the frame with a hint of a challenge in her posture. Her second portrait, like her second term, shows this time she is more experienced in the role and determined to control how the public sees her. Ladies, which is your favorite First Lady or inaugural festivities outfit? Leave a comment below. Also, if you made it to the end, please hit the notification bell before you leave so that you know every time we upload. See you next time, and remember to keep on flourishing. Toodles!